Welcome to the Smart Energy Podcast series, the most interesting way to learn about energy in Barbados. This podcast is an initiative of the Energy Division in the Ministry of Energy, Small Business and Entrepreneurship. Welcome to the first Smart Energy Podcast. The Smart Energy Podcast series is a downloadable discussion with programs focused on smart energy in a Barbadian context. They seek to explain the key points within the Barbados National Energy Policy in a way that all of us can understand and fully embrace. The pods are intended to be informative and also to stimulate the public interest within smart energy. In today's episode, we'll be covering topics such as the basics of the Barbados National Energy Policy, including its 2030 goals, identifying the types of renewable energy that Barbados will be pursuing. We will also describe the ways in which the renewable energy sector will benefit a wide cross-section of Barbadians. Our guest for today, the Honorable Mr. Kerrie Symmonds, Minister of Energy, Small Business and Entrepreneurship. We also have Ms. Keisha Reid, Project Manager, Public Sector of the Smart Energy Program, and Mr. Delano Scantlebury, Project Director, Project Monitoring and Coordination Team, the Ministry of Energy, Small Business and Entrepreneurship. Well, let's get started. I want to direct this first question to Minister Symmonds. What is the Barbados National Energy Policy?
Well, in a nutshell, the government has a policy commitment to enhance the efficiency of our energy production, to make sure that energy consumption is done in as cost-effective a way as possible, and to ensure that the island is very energy efficient. And the National Energy Policy was developed to provide a framework or a roadmap to give direction to government in the short to long-term period for the development of renewable and non-renewable energy on the island.
And can you speak to the 2030 goals as well?
Well, the 2030 goals arise out of the policy concerns of government with regard to efficiency and our ability to be energy consumers who are trying to consume energy in as cost-effective a way as possible. So it touches a number of things. The first of all is the diversification of the energy sector. And that is very important because you want to create an opportunity for there to be an energy mix so that you source it from a number of different places, whether it be solar energy, whether it be wind energy, wave, etc. It has to be affordable. And I think we all understand what we mean by affordable. So you want to drive down the cost of energy, and the consumer obviously benefits and businesses as well benefit. It has to be an efficient sector where consumption and production occur with a maximum level of efficiency, again, as possible. It offers us an opportunity for the first time to break the back of a monopoly. The major generator of electricity in Barbados is the Barbados Light and Power. What we are trying to do via this policy is to stimulate entrepreneurial activity, and entrepreneurship in the sector will offer opportunities for a wide cross-section of people, local and foreign, who are interested in investment in that sector. And of course, you can't understate the importance of the environmental benefits that we potentially can reap from a greener energy sector in Barbados, relying substantially less on imported fossil fuels. So that is basically what it is about in a nutshell.
Thank you so much, Minister Symmonds. And of course, the reason BNEP, the Barbados National Energy Policy, the reason it was established was definitely within that answer as well. So I wanted to throw this next question to Delano. What types of renewable energy will Barbados be pursuing? Can you break that down for us a little more?
Good morning. Yes, we will be pursuing basically solar, PV, and thermal, ocean energy, both fixed and floating offshore, wind energy, and bioenergy consisting of biomass, biodiesel, and biofuel. It should be noted that this list can be augmented in the future as a result of research and development and the commercial viability of new technologies. I would wish to point out that the commercial viability is a key aspect of determining what type of renewable energy we will be going with.
And is there a connection between electric vehicles and the Barbados National Energy Policy?
Yes, there is. When we look at electric vehicles, we'll be looking at another source of energy outside of fossil fuels for their energy needs. And in regard to that, we definitely it will be a definite big thrust for the economy and for the sector. I don't know if Keisha may wish to say something in regard to this.
Thank you, Delano. As you indicated, I am currently implementing the Public Sector Smart Energy Program. And as part of that program, we're actually undertaking an electric vehicle pilot study. And this study includes the 8 electric vehicles that we would have procured about 2 years ago that are currently being used by various government departments. We also procured 2 electric buses that are being used by Transport Board. And we're also collating data from the Transport Board's own electrification project with their 33 buses that they procured last year. And the purpose of this work is to not just collate and to analyze the data, but it is to really provide government with a roadmap as we seek to transition to e-mobility more or less with respect to the government's fleet. As you might not know, from April 1st, all government vehicles, unless they're specialty type vehicles, must be either electric or hybrid. So this body of work is really going to assist us in terms of having that clear roadmap in terms of electrification across government. But in addition to this, the ministry is also pursuing other studies with respect to the overall strategic transition for electric mobility across Barbados. So as Delano indicated, electric mobility, you are not using fossil fuels in a direct way. They're more efficient type of vehicles. So it's definitely an integral part of the transition and the policy of the government.
Fantastic. Okay, so Minister Symmonds, I'm going to throw this question out to you. Does BNEP mean that Barbados will no longer explore its crude oil or natural gas reserves?
No, not at all. Barbados is going to continue to pursue offshore exploration through our drilling and exploration program. And in fact, in the 3rd quarter of this year, we should be going out to international an international invitation to participate in that regard. The possibility of a significant oil and gas find has tremendous potential for Barbados, and we intend to run a parallel track. On one hand, we want to pursue the possibility of the economic benefits, which could be used for export. And obviously, on the other hand, we want to maintain our commitment to the renewable energy via domestic consumption of our production of renewables here. But we anticipate that given the global projections, we're probably looking at a world output of our world demand for fossil fuel in approximately 78 or so percent of what it now is by 2040. So it still gives us a large window of opportunity for us to be able to export well, if we are fortunate, to that product that we do find, and at the same time to plow any resources that we get from it or any benefits that we derive from crude oil back into the development of our RE sector. And at the same time as we do that, we want to continue to use natural gas as a bridging fuel. It is cleaner than crude oil, but obviously there's going to still be some continued reliance on natural gas as we move towards being 100% renewable. We want a Barbados that is energy independent. We want a Barbados that is self-sufficient and self-reliant in as many ways as possible, and for generations to come. As I said, we have endured, and to some extent enjoyed, a relationship with the current producer, main generator of electricity for 100 years, where they were the generator. It gives us an opportunity to have 100% renewable, a status internationally of being 100% renewable and carbon neutral as an island state. And that is important because of the role that it plays in this little island, making a statement to the world about climate change and the things that you need to do in order to ensure that you assist in fighting the change to the climate. The National Energy Policy also allows for local participation and ownership in the production of energy. And again, that is a critical thing for us because it allows the sector to be democratized and for Barbadians to pool themselves together in cooperatives, or for us to partner with foreign investors in order to be producers of energy. So it is an investment opportunity for people in the country as well. And as I said at the very beginning, the environmental aspect of it cannot be understated because you minimize the use of fossil fuel and maximize a clean environment.
Can you speak to the very specific benefits to Barbados, or maybe speak to the individual or the business owner from BNEP? What are the specific benefits from this plan, from this policy?
I think the first one would be the minimization of foreign exchange outflow. From a business person's perspective, we all know that there's a demand for foreign exchange always in the country. We, depending on the year in question, the expenditure of the Barbados government on the importation of fossil fuel may well be a variant between $400 million at a minimum and $800 million at a maximum. And again, the business people in the country want to have certainty about the cost of energy because energy is a critical input to almost every business exercise. The fluctuations on the global market, for example, when you have some strife breaking out in the Middle East, whether it is a war in Iraq or whatever else it might be, you find that the price of energy for us goes through the roof. So it gives us a certain amount of stability and allows for business people to do a lot better planning and so on. I think that that probably is the major benefit to our business community. I would want to think that the actual reliance on RE brings down the price for business operations. It is anticipated that if we are fortunate, we can get it to come down by about 40%. And if we have a sufficient saturation of the renewable energy into our grid, then that makes it much easier for Barbados to get into competitive areas, for example, value-added manufacturing, where we have a very small footprint right now, and other areas that allow for the economy to thrive and generate employment.
Nice. Okay. Let's talk about achieving some of these goals. Delano, I'm going to throw this one to you. Based on where we are today, are BNEP's 2030 deadlines achievable, in your opinion?
I would say that the vast majority are achievable, but significant investment will be required to achieve these timelines, along with the buy-in of the general public, which is why we are all here today. The importance of renewable energy and utilization of efficient energy products and methods will be critical to achieving these goals. Thank you.
No problem. And what steps are being taken to meet the targets?
Well, a number of preparatory studies are currently underway that will form the foundation for the successful implementation of BNEP. Namely, we're looking at the development of an integrated resource and resilience plan, which will outline the amount of generation capacity needed to meet future demands within the country. There's also an ocean energy study to determine the energy producing potential of the marine environment. And as we go on, within the biofuel energy, there's a study to determine the feasibility of using biofuels as an alternative fuel in the transport sector, which will be a key area for the policy. We also have an electric vehicles strategy, which will guide the transition and uptake of electric vehicles. And recently, the FTC would have established feed-in tariffs for renewable energy generation up to 10 megawatts. And that is important for looking at investment into the sector.
Also, we are well on our way. And talking about vehicles, are the electric buses that were purchased for the Transport Board, are they related to the Barbados National Energy Policy as well?
Yes, the buses for the Transport Board are an element of the implementation of the National Energy Policy. The transport sector consumes approximately 1/3 of the imported fossil fuels in Barbados, and the electrification of that sector is one of the options that we are looking at with regard to the reduction of the consumption of fossil fuel. The Ministry of Energy has oversight of the public sector smart energy program, and that allows for us to undertake pilot studies of the performance of the electrical vehicles. We are looking right now at the performance of buses, and we are also focusing extensively on 8 electric vehicles procured under the same program. And this is all with a view to ensuring that the rollout is a smooth one, that we protect the interests of the consumers who obviously want to be sure and certain that the vehicles function well in Barbados. And we see this as a critical part of the preparation for the development of a transportation roadmap that is energy efficient. And I wanted to make the additional point, if you allow me to, that we right now enjoy having the densest utilization of electric vehicles in the public transportation sector in the Caribbean.
Well, I mean, I've been seeing all the changes, and when I'm on the road at night, I do notice that the streetlights also look different. They look like they're energy saving bulbs in the streetlights. Is that something that's also part of the policy? Part of the rollout?
It is very much part of the policy because we are retrofitting all of the old high pressure sodium lamps with LED bulbs. And I think Keisha probably is better equipped than I am to speak to some of the technical issues relating to that.
So as Minister would have indicated, we are definitely changing out the high pressure sodium streetlights. The LED streetlights actually use 50% less electricity. And to date, we've actually installed just over 25,000 streetlights on our highways as well as minor roads. And we've actually hit 85% as of the end of February. By April, we should have over 90% of the streetlights installed. And that project will be coming to an end quite shortly. And the overall objective is to reduce the consumption of electricity by 4.3 megawatts per year. So over the life of the project, that will be 64.5 megawatts over the 15-year life of the actual asset. And this is estimated to create savings of approximately US $1.7 million annually for the cost of public street lighting. So we're really excited about this project. This is also being done as part of the Public Sector Smart Energy Program. And primarily this activity is being funded by the European Union and the Inter-American Development Bank.
Oh, fantastic. Are there any other projects that we can see in the near future? Anything that you can share with us that we can look out for?
Well, the Public Sector Smart Energy Program actually has a number of projects that fall under it. So I would have talked about the retrofit of the streetlights, but we're also retrofitting government buildings with solar energy and energy efficiency technologies. So today we would have installed 2.4 megawatts across 15 government buildings. And these buildings include a ground mount system at the Grantley Adams Airport Engineering Building. We also have on the cruise terminal and the port and Barbados Community College. And we would have also partnered with the University of the West Indies and Samuel Jackman Prescott Institute of Technology, just to name a few. And we're about to start a contract for the actual EE retrofit. And as Delano would have indicated, your energy efficiency is just as important as utilizing renewable energy. So the intent is to reduce government's energy footprint. We want to lead by example. So we'll be retrofitting not only with lighting, but we're also looking at the air conditioning units, as well as smaller, what we will call it energy conservation, for example, the sealants and smaller types of interventions that also assist with saving energy on various government buildings. And that's not all. That's just the Public Sector Smart Energy Program. And I'll talk a little bit about this maybe later, but we have a new project that we're about to start called the Smart Fund 2 is what we call it, but the long name is the Sustainable Energy Investment Program, and that's also funded by the IDB and the EU. It's a much larger project, it's 45 million US dollars. And under this program, we're seeking to retrofit 100 government buildings and to expand the electric mobility fleet across Barbados. So we're looking at buying up to 20 additional buses for Transport Board, as well as buying additional vehicles for different government departments.
It is so exciting to hear about all these changes and everything that's happening. We are clearly on track. And since I have you here, I've heard the ads from the Ministry of Energy, Small Business and Entrepreneurship, encouraging Barbadians to become energy champions. What does it mean to be an energy champion? Can you talk more about that?
Okay, so basically, in order for the policy to take effect, we really need every Barbadian to participate. And so we would have came up with this communication strategy for the policy. So the first thing we did, we actually had an online survey, and we would have garnered the ideas and concepts from various Barbadians in terms of what they know about the policy, what they think about the policy, whether it's something they're interested in or not. And what we recognized was over 90% of the persons who responded actually thought that energy efficiency and renewable energy was a good thing. Based on the input from the survey, we developed a whole strategy for the policy. And the first activity which we launched in November was being an energy champion. We had a really exciting game which ran through Facebook Messenger, and persons were able to receive exciting prizes. We had 11 winners, and you'll hear a little bit more about that in the press. And so the whole issue is not just about letting persons know about the policy, but understanding that is a call to action for every Barbadian to do something. So whether it is being conservative as it relates to shutting your fridge door or turning off your lights, or whether it is making smart choices when you have to buy a new refrigerator, understanding, the label that you're looking for, what is an energy smart fridge, understanding what is your capacity in your household, and whether you want to incorporate renewable energy in terms of a PV system or a solar water heater, which a lot of us already have. And we actually have a newly revamped website, www.smartenergybarbados. And we have an entire tab that speaks to smart businesses. And we have an interactive image which actually gives you different tips and tricks on how businesses can conserve energy, especially tips for the office. It also highlights the importance of energy audits and the steps in making an energy management plan. Knowing your business and how it uses energy can help to improve, and there are many benefits to knowing your energy footprint for the business. So we encourage companies to have their own energy management programs. And we recognize that most people that have these programs generally are more successful in reducing their energy footprint than those who don't. And those energy savings go straight to your bottom line. So our first step is to do an energy audit. And I'm happy to report under the Enterprise Goal Fund Limited, which is the Energy Smart Fund that would have started a couple of years back, there is resources for companies to receive grants to be able to do pre-feasibility studies such as energy audits. And ultimately, you can also borrow resources. We have low-cost loans to implement your renewable energy and your energy efficiency intervention. So there's help to take you from the beginning to the end as per our various government programs.
That's really good to know. And how can Barbadians find out more details about the Barbados National Energy Policy?
So as I indicated, we have the Smart Energy Barbados website, which we recently revamped to be the repository for the Barbados National Energy Policy. So it has all the information on the Barbados National Energy Policy, the implementation plan, and other publications and information that's related to the policy. But it also has on the website how you can be an energy champion. So there are tips for smart homes, smart lifestyle, smart businesses, as well as general information in terms of how you can achieve your goals. One of the most exciting parts of the website a lot of persons like is the educational catalog, where we have a list of all the courses from the various tertiary institutions that are related to sustainable energy. So we have courses from UE, Barbados Community College, SJPI, to name a few.
Oh, this is really exciting.
Yeah,
Thank you
definitely.
so much.
The website again is www.smartenergybarbados.com. And we also have an active social media presence at Smart Energy Barbados. But before we go, I also have to give the ministry a plug because the Division of Energy just revamped its own website. And, that's more the corporate face of the ministry. And it has all the information on the ministry, our team, all the projects and the programs that I talked about earlier that the ministry's implemented. It has a number of publications like the Energy Chapter, and various information. You can also get information on licensing, how to apply for your renewable energy license and your oil and gas licenses. So www.energy.gov.bb. So those are our two websites that we have in the ministry for different areas in the ministry. So I encourage persons to go on the website and to follow at Energy Barbados and follow at Smart Energy Barbados.
I love it. So we can all be on board to help Barbados be on track for 2030 for sure. So as we are about to end today's show, before we go, I just want to get last words from our guests, starting with Minister Symmonds.
I just want to invite everyone to try to get on board. I think it is really important. It is an exciting time that we are living in. We have an opportunity to be investors. We have an opportunity to get employment in this sector in a way that we never had the opportunity before. We have an opportunity to be independent in terms of being, every household can strive to be its own energy producer. It also creates an opportunity for us to practice efficiency. And that is something that everyone can benefit from as a society. And therefore there's a role for everybody to play. And quite frankly, the collective, the Barbadian people as a whole now can benefit from being able to live in a happier environment because we are making a serious contribution towards making Barbados a greener, cleaner, better atmosphere, better place to be for whatever pursuit you have, whether it is working, playing, whatever.
Great. And what about you, Delano? How do you want to add to this? What are your last words for the Barbadian public?
Well, my last words to the Barbadian public is that the successful implementation of BNET will require a national effort, and that all of us have a part to play in regard to this endeavor. And we look forward to working with them as we implement this policy successfully. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And Keisha, I know you ended off earlier with the website and information on where we can get where we can get all the information on the policy. But any last thoughts for you?
For me, I would say encourage every Barbadian to be an energy champion, because that's at the end of the day is the essence of it all. See yourself as an energy champion. And the first thing a champion needs to do is get the relevant information. So visit our website, follow our various social media handles at Energy Barbados and at Smart Energy Barbados. There's a wealth of information out there. And once you have the information, you're armed, you can be an energy champion.
Thank you so much. A big thank you to our guest, the Honorable Mr. Kerrie Symmonds, also Ms. Keisha Reid, and Mr. Delano Scantlebury. Remember to look out for more exciting topics like employment opportunities in the renewable energy sector here on the Smart Energy Podcast. I'm your host, Tracy Fowler. Have a great day.
You too. Take care,
Tracy.